Royal Republic,
Royal
2000,
Republic?
2000. We
And
played our first show in 2008.
We better get our story straight.
Yeah, okay.
We started out in '07, right? 2007. We had our first show in 2008.
We met at the Academy of Music in Malmö, which is where all the amazingly talented people get into.
Yep.
So we got in and then we got out because we didn't want to be in anymore. We started a rock band.
Yeah.
And we've been
at it ever since. We've released 3 albums, 1 EP, Royal Republic and the Nosebreakers.
the first album had 13 songs on it.
And it was like 2 minutes long?
36 minutes long. And now we have 3 albums, so now we can start playing the like never ending. We set a pretty aggressive target right away. We knew we've been working as musicians more or less our whole lives, growing up with musicians in the family and so on. So we basically wanted to do the music that we loved and somehow make a living from it at the same time, which is a challenge, very much a challenge. But that was our goal very early on, and we just, started making these steps in a plan, basically, started following it very meticulously, and then...
But I remember it being very, very serious from the very start. I remember this time, I think we did like 3 or 4 rehearsals, and Adam walked up to me during a break, and he said, "Hannes, you do know you need to quit your job now, right?" And I was like, "All right, hold your horses. We've had 3 rehearsals, but."
I know, but I knew. I was
you
completely
knew all
convinced that
along.
we would just like, if we just do this thing, it's going to work out. So that's what we did, kind of, and we're still working on it. See, the biggest challenge with being a band from Sweden is that Sweden doesn't really have a domestic live market. You can't really tour Sweden. So if you're a touring band like us, who live to play live, and that's how we meet people, that's how we get people, you basically have 2 days a week. There's Friday and there's Saturday when there are shows in the clubs and people go out, which is, pretty sad because all around Europe, in France, in Germany, England, wherever you go, there are thousands of places to play. And all the Swedish bands, pretty much escape from Sweden. While we do have a lot of music coming from Sweden, it's not really easy to be a band there in a way, because it's just too small, I guess, and too fucking long, so you can't like tour.
No, it's difficult. Plus, Swedish people have a tendency to stay at home unless they're like huge fans of a band. They don't go out randomly on a Friday or Saturday night just to check out a random rock band that they've never heard of. They go to a show and they buy a ticket like 4 or 5 months in advance if they're huge fans. Otherwise, you stay at home and get shit-faced.
Good question. What's Swedish? Yeah, we're Swedish. I think when we started out, we were listening to quite a lot of Scandinavian bands. We've been compared to the Hives since we started, which is a pretty easy comparison. We love the Hives, and it's not a bad thing. We think it's a great band. There was also a Norwegian band called Glucifer at the time who had a record out called Automatic Thrill and Basement Apes from earlier on. That we were inspired by, definitely, and Helicopters being one of the bands, of course. And I think the joy of it had a different party vibe to it, these bands, than a lot of American bands that were around, and something that we were really attracted to. And I think it's still something that you can hear in our music, that the heritage is from that Scandinavian rock scene. Our strength is definitely that we are actual musicians who take our job as musicians and performers very seriously. You will never see us get up on stage drunk. We'll do our job, and we love doing our job. Our weakness, on the other hand, is that we're never on stage drunk. So it's like there is no big story. There's no real drama. There's no one coming out and like, oh, I've been gay for 20 years and my wife doesn't know, and I shot my dog, or I crashed a car. There's nothing like that. We're just very regular people. which is tough because in this business, it's a lot of it has to do with image.
It's all about the stories.
And we've heard it since day one. You know, when we first signed our first record deal, that you guys are, you know, the music is great, and you guys are amazing performers, but we need like to sharpen your image. You know, sex sells. Do you have something? Could we maybe set up some kind of disaster in a bar or something?
And
like,
I remember the head of the record label. He was like, you know, guys, we will pay for your flights up to Stockholm. We will pay for everything. Just make sure that you go out here, you have an awesome night out, and that you trash the entire place.
Hannes?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yes. Don't we? Aren't we all?
But I guess we have one member of the band in particular that's more in touch with his inner Viking than the rest of us, and that's probably Jonas.
Our bass player. He's tiny and blonde and with a red beard. Huge beard. And it takes, I think, I need about 10 drinks before I start like releasing my inner beast. And Jonas is more like 2 beers. It's a really difficult question. Every band in the world goes like, yeah, we did our new record and I think it's our best work and you know, it really kicks ass and it's what we did is we really tried to zero in on what is the essence of us. What do we do best? And I feel that we have truly found the identity of our band. And I think a lot of bands go through that whole process of trying to find out what are we all about. I think we really struck gold when we wrote When I See You Dance With Another. The first single off the new album. That felt like really, this is what we do.
This should be the essence of the new album.
Yeah. And then we just kept building around that. We recorded it in Berlin with amazing producers, Michael Tibis and Christian Leander, and Michael Ilbert mixed it. Good friend from Stockholm and an amazing mixer sitting at Hansa Studios. So I mean, we take a lot of pride in our craft, in that it's all real. There is no autotune. That's a big thing for us. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a big thing for us that we try and keep it real and actually perform. And that is the core of our band. I guess we are very focused on that and the songwriting and the performance. We try to keep all our doors open as much as we can. We like experimenting and trying new stuff. We did it I remember the first album being kind of just all go, no quit, fast songs and punchy riffs. And then we came up with the idea for Full Steam Space Machine, which is the first like groovy riff we ever had. And we were like, can we do this? This isn't fast enough. And and looking back now, if we hadn't opened that door, it's like that's one of our most popular or requested songs. That's one that always goes down wherever we play. It's like, whoa, this is cool. So we like to try and keep the doors open. You can always close them if you don't like them. We don't want to get stuck in a genre. It's like if AC/DCs have done reasonably well, I would say, anyway. But it's like they have their sound, for example. If they were to come out with a song that sounds like Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For by U2, people would go, what happened? They're stuck in their genre, and it's a great genre, and they're the best in the world at it, and they're legends forever. But we want to try and, Beatles made Helter Skelter happen, and they made Yesterday happen. Pretty different songs, but nobody batters an eye because it's both equally great, And that's the kind of freedom we want to have when we write. We don't know either. We just try to come up with a cool name because people keep asking, like, what kind of rock do you play? And we're like, come on. Liquid, pure gold, metal rock, neo rock, Bob Dylan rock, Chuck Norris rock. Who gives a shit? It doesn't really matter. Listen to it, and if you like it, like it. If you don't. Call it whatever you want.